You're watching the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. Upwards of 80 degrees the last couple of days in Abilene, Texas. It's hot outside and an electric atmosphere inside Moody Coliseum. A couple of longtime rivals for a big one, Stephen F. Austin and Abilene Christian. The WAC standings coming in. SFA in the 4th spot, a game out of a two-way tie for second. Meanwhile, Abilene Christian fighting there in the middle, a half game back of California Baptist. Can't wait for this matchup today. Welcome courtside, everybody. Zach Carlisle, Joseph Chapa, Daisy Strine coming up as well. Well, if you like defense, I think this is the game for you. We came in talking about it. These are two of the best.
Absolutely, Zach. I mean, again, middle of the week, you got a classic I-20 rivalry, and I think both of these teams, ACU and SFA, really haven't dominated anyone this season, but we're heading 3-4 games left in the regular season before WAC Vegas. Let's see what they can do here tonight.
These two may decide part of this. Day Hall, double-double machine. Ali Diba playing great for ACU.
Absolutely right. I mean, these two forwards know what to do when they catch the ball inside. They allow both coaches to play inside and out in the system. We'll see what they can do here tonight.
These are two rivals that have known each other for a very long time. Let's talk more about the history between ACU and SFA and say hello to the third member of our team, Daisy Strine.
Thank you, Zach. This SFA versus ACU rivalry is nothing new. In fact, their first matchup dates all the way back to 1974. Stephen F. Austin is 24-14 against ACU, and they have had quite a successful season as they are looking to clinch the top 4 seed in the Western Athletic Conference. Coach Tanner, head basketball coach for the Wildcats, said earlier this week, hopefully we'll have something to say about that. This will be a very telling game for the WAC standings as we are just 3 short games away from the WAC tournament. This will be a great game, so grab your popcorn. Back to you, Zach and Joseph.
Daisy, thank you very much. Yeah, get your popcorn, butter, salt, all of it. Let's get ready to roll. They're introducing the starting lineups for Abilene Christian here in Moody Coliseum.
Also in guard, a 6'5" senior from Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia, number 11, Tobias Cameron. At guard, a 6'4" sophomore from Stockholm, Sweden, number 20, Ali Diba. At forward, a 6'5" senior from Little Rock, Arkansas, number 23, Ariane Simmons. And at forward, a 6'7" senior from Overland Park, Kansas, number 32, Joe Pleasant.
That's the Abilene Christian starting 5 as we get ready for this tremendous matchup. Joseph, this one's always circled. SFA and ACU, you just feel a different level of energy when these two get together.
You're absolutely right, man. And you look at the ties to it. Coach Brett Tanner, former SFA assistant coach. Coach Antonio Bosick, assistant coach for ACU, former player, and played under Brett Tanner. And you can kind of see the similar styles as well. Coach Kyle Keller likes to run what they call the press U system and a ball screen motion offense, but Coach Brett Tanner, I mean, we know what he brings to the defensive table, and they like to run a similar motion offense. So really two similar ball clubs here tonight. Let's see what's going to happen here in Moody Coliseum.
And both off of losses. That would love to get back in the winning side of things, and it's the second meeting of the season between SFA and ACU. They met in the conference opener on December 29th in Nacogdoches.
Until the Lumberjacks score their first basket.
Antwi Bosiaco up against Pleasant. That's the 2 in the middle. Lumberjacks and Wildcats, always entertaining. Glad you're with us tonight. Off we go from Abilene, Texas, and the SFA starters. Nigel Hawkins into the starting 5 tonight. Day Hall, we highlighted him coming on. Jossel as well. Oh, Daniel's no good. There's a rebound for Hall. Could juice the point guard, and then Antwi Bosiaco. And then you've got the ACU starters that they've had for the last handful of games with veteran lineup with Daniels and Cameron. Diba into the lineup once again these last handful of games. Simmons and Pleasant as well. An early three-point attempt for AJ Kajust, no good. Both sides empty early on. Nice feed, that's Daniels to Diba.
And he's the impact player of the night. Again, both of these teams just kind of getting into their offense, seeing what's open, how these defenses are going to cover each other.
No Jalen Jackson Posey tonight, no. Nice penetration and Day Hall, the sophomore out of Sulphur Springs, Texas. Spectacular talent. Gets SFA on the board. ACU back to work. There is Simmons, a little up and under, no good. He's coming off of his season best performance, 20 points at Grand Canyon last week. We have a foul in transition. Hawkins trying to go to the paint as we go back to the first ACU basket of the night.
Well, when you have an athletic forward like Ali Diba, you can run those baseline action cuts like that. They call it a flex action, and really you do that in your early type of offense. And Ali Diba, again, he's going to be scoring inside. He's got a little bit of a mid-range, can also hit a respectable three-pointer, so look for him to have a good night against the Lumberjacks.
Free throws for the first time. It is the very veteran grad student, Nigel Hawkins, been around a long time. Third year with SFA, originally started out in El Paso at UTEP, and he is in the starting lineup tonight. We'll see Roddy Ware come off the bench for the Lumberjacks.
And Hawkins is just so efficient. I think this Stephen F. Austin team is so efficient in general, not only in the conference but in the country, and I think Hawkins is a big reason why.
Early free throws, and that ball tapped out of bounds, and it is a turnover. Jossel got in there for some defense, and it's a takeaway for Stephen F. Austin. Kyle Keller in his 7th year as a head coach with 143 wins in his time at SFA. One of the great decades of college basketball at the mid-major level these Lumberjacks have put together. They went for the slam, did Hawkins, and he missed it. Here comes Abilene Christian. Daniels, the speedster, no. And Antwi Bosiako with a rebound.
That's already 2 dunk attempts, and now when SFA tries to run the floor, ACU tries to run the floor, they just settle down the half court, and now we see why with that basket.
Hawkins again, able to penetrate it. The grad student out of Houston, 10 points a game. Great free throw shooter, as you saw already as well. And ACU tries to lob it backside. There's Diba, no good. A slow offensive start for Abilene Christian, 1 for their first 5 from the floor. And the ball out of bounds. Brett Tanner, we talked about it briefly, was an assistant at Stephen F. Austin, came over to Abilene Christian as an assistant, and now in his 2nd year as the head coach. A lot of history between these two programs. Kajust, a tremendous new face to this league at the point guard spot for SFA. He's a very efficient shooter as well, and great on the defensive side. Lob a little high, out of bounds, looking for Hall.
And SFA really wants this one back. They call this a mouse in the house. That's Day Hall, a forward up against Damian Daniels, a 5'7" point guard, and even Damian Daniels has a good heart for his size as a defender. If you're SFA, you gotta capitalize on those easy looks down low.
Ball deflected up in the air, loose, and it's a foul. That thing pinballed way up there. Jossel and Cameron going after it.
Just trying to see if the trajectory of the ball maybe would land on us, and then maybe, I don't know, would you shoot the 3? Would I shoot the 3?
Well,
maybe a pick and roll, a give and go. We should ask Coach Tanner.
Cameron was calling for a fair catch on that. That's how high that thing got up in the air. Meanwhile, Abilene Christian 1 for their first 5 with an early turnover. There's the lob, Pleasant's got it. Traffic in there, couldn't get it. Second chance, blocked away. Antwi Bosiako with spectacular D. And Kajust coming the other way. Up and in, Hall, 2-hand flush.
Just playing inside and out, and again, same formula for both of these teams, but for SFA especially, you know, get a rebound, you gotta run, you have numbers, and look for that post touch.
And a lot of easy looks in the paint so far. Daniels able to turn it and convert it. He's been scoring it like crazy as of late. for Abilene Christian, and he gets his hand in there on a steal, nearly. He is Abilene Christian's all-time leader in steals recently, just making that happen last Friday in their loss at Grand Canyon. Emmanuel Allen, number 25, off the bench and into the game for Abilene Christian. Jaleel Bobrun into the game, big number 12 for SFA in purple as well. But you can just see it. There's no windows to pass the ball. Both of these defenses just lock it down. It's tremendous to watch. Roddy Ware out there for the first time as well, number 2. Been around a long time, and he smooches one off the window, the grad student out of Mississippi.
And SFA knows how hard ACU plays defensively, and if they can take shots lower in the shot clock, that'll tire the Wildcats out.
I believe Ware's already in his 4th year at SFA. It is Pleasant, and he's hacked inside. And we go back and forth. We're going to start in Abilene, Texas. SFA and ACU. It's going to be a physical one tonight.
First in the game, team foul number 2.
Time now for our keys to the game, brought to you by your Greater Texas Ford dealers.
Well, let's start with the Jacks, Zach. Activate early. We're already seeing it here with a 10-4 lead. And get to the line. Again, these two things are already doing well, just being aggressive. And for ACU, the distant drive, also known as the dribble drive action. You got guys like Ali Diba, Joe Pleasant, Cameron Steele of the world. You drive in, you can kick it out to your shooters. That has really helped ACU over the course of the conference season. And just settle in. You've had some games where, look, it's not a normal schedule, but now this is your first week since February 1st where you have 2 games in 1 week. And so let's see how the Wildcats settle in.
That's interesting, too, you know, with New Mexico State news coming out of the WAC. And that affected Abilene Christian probably more than anybody because they were scheduled to play the Aggies twice. And all of a sudden you take a game away each week there and you're just playing once. And that's how it goes going into the conference tournament for ACU. They're off of a loss to Grand Canyon last Friday night out there in Phoenix, and then SFA coming off of a home loss on Saturday to UT Arlington. What a weekend for the Mavericks to take down Sam Houston and SFA last weekend. 10-6 as we go back and forth. Late February, important hoops in Texas. Foul off the ball. No 3-second call. 3 seconds in the lane for SFA.
3-second violation on the Lumberjacks. It'll be ACU ball.
To this before we get time out. The physicality between both of these programs, and you know, 10-6. Stephen F. Austin's. Again, you're having that guard pressure up in the half court. ACU now, can you go on a run here? Haven't been really able to do that all conference season. You kind of started late. Let's see what they do with this possession.
Hey, you're talking about 2 defenses that are better than almost anybody in America taking the ball away. That's a blocking foul, and Allen's got an and 1.
Well, you're a shot creator for the Wildcats, the leading scorer for your Wildcats, and you have lanes like that. If you're Emmanuel Allen, your confidence, your aggressiveness has really increased this season. And man, Coach Brett Tanner and his staff is really happy to have number 25 emerge this season.
Matt Heyman, number 4, looked like he got over there and got set, but I'm not sure where the feet were. Were they inside that arc or not? Close call, and Allen will have the 3. Both sides empty the bench here a little bit. SFA, one of the great ones, actually top 11 in the country in bench points per game, a very deep unit. Well, they're going to give it away for the second time. This is an offensive foul on Nigel Hawkins in the backcourt.
Foul on SFA on number 0, Nigel Hawkins.
These are opportunities that Abilene Christian has to capitalize on. I think ACU, you go into games like this and, kind of like the Sam Houston game, the formula isn't really to get in a shootout with one of the best offensive teams in the country, similar to here. But when you have, capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes, you get more shots and more looks at the rim. And so ACU, this might be a tail of the game here against SFA.
Jay-Sean Jackson, number 2 in there for Abilene Christian, no good on the floater. So you got it, we alluded to it briefly. The 2 best teams in the WAC, and you've got number 3 SFA, their defense in terms of taking the ball away. That is 2 guys going at it. Ran into the official, and I don't know the call. It's a foul. They're going to call a foul on Emmanuel Allen for Abilene Christian. But meanwhile, so SFA, they're number 3 in the country and taking the ball away. 18.5 turnovers forced a game. ACU just under 18. They're number 5 in America. These 2 teams do it better than anybody.
And in order to have those elite and fantastic stats, you got to be able to be physical, be assertive. You got to have that attitude that you want it. And we saw in that foul, and we're seeing, here in the course of the start of the game, that both of these teams really want it. And I think here Emmanuel Allen is really kind of puzzled on that foul look because, again, he's just trying to steal and intercept that ball. But it was a really, a tough area to catch that on that strong side corner, especially where that sideline referee is standing.
Yeah, you can argue the ref drew the foul. He was the one who got contacted. All 3 bodies kind of collided there on the boundary. Nice skip pass there, which Ware, he can create off the bounce as good as anyone. 8 on the timer for Heyman. Here he goes. Now it's Ware in the corner. Got a good look. Look at the offensive rebound. Wow. The putback is a foul. Derek Tizeno, the sophomore out of Louisiana.
And knowing that ACU can scramble mode here on defense, you got 3 down low to try and get the rebound. And again, ACU is just trying to get back to the fundamentals of basketball, winning basketball and rebounding. It's not a flashy stat. You're not going to see it every day on SportsCenter or on Twitter, but it's going to help you win ball games. And I think if you're Coach Keller, you got to capitalize on that. Trip to the foul line, more offensive rebounds, a chance at more second chance points, and now we're seeing why SFA back to the free throw line for Derek Tizano.
First one up and in.
And re-entering for the Wildcats,
60% free throw shooter for the year. SFA's 72% as a team this season. The sophomore out of Melville, Louisiana, playing in his 51st career game in his opening 2 seasons for the Lumberjacks. Short on the second one. These 2 teams played. Have another whistle.
Out of bounds off SFA, it'll stay with the Wildcats.
Stays with Abilene Christian. These 2 teams played a 75-68 game in Nacogdoches, with SFA winning that one way back December 29th. Feels like 3 years ago at this point. Expect it to be another kind of lower scoring type of game tonight. There's a takeaway. Here come the Jacks the other direction. Six minutes in. The hedge and the foul. Cameron Steele tried to come out and hedge the screen and help, and he's called for the bump.
And you talked about the game, to start conference season for both of these teams. It was really a back and forth game. SFA going out on an early run, and then ACU kind of responding with that 15-0 run, and then of course Stephen F. Austin runs away with it. So will we see that type of similar game here in the brand new, newly renovated Moody Coliseum? I know Coach Keller's excited to be here and play, but I think he's more excited about a chance to win against the Wildcats.
For the first time these 2 teams are playing here. They closed the building in March of 2020. This game was the last one at Moody before they closed it down. Boy, that's Antwi Bosiako. He is a beast inside, trying to deal with all 6'7" of that sophomore. Jackson's trapped. Now the ball's poked and taken away. Boy, this defense. Here's Hawkins, transition look. We got a 3 tonight. Timeout, Abilene Christian. A turnover turning into a 3. SFA doing that better than anybody.
And it started off with that steal, Zach, and I want to highlight that a little bit because Jay-Sean Jackson running the play correctly, right? Going to the weak side of the left floor, but SFA recognizes that, hey, we're bigger than these guys. We're longer than these guys. We might be faster and stronger than the Wildcats. So you trap them here near the corner, and what does that do? You have no passing vision. You have no passing angle to pass out of, and then it just turns to one pass and a skip pass, turnover, and you have a guy like Nigel Hawkins, and again, Stephen F. Austin, well-coached, disciplined. I mean, a well-run oil machine, and they make you pay when they turn you over in the half-court setting. So if ACU can just slow the game down, not get the ball in those corners, stay in the middle of the floor, I think they have a great shot at getting some more points here in the middle of the first.
It's good to see a 3 go for Hawkins. He's been struggling just a bit as of late. 3 for his last 13, spanning a 5-game stretch. But he hits his opening attempt. And we've only seen 2 3-point attempts so far, both from SFA. They're 1 for 2. And Tobias Cameron has it in the corner now for Abilene Christian, the 6th year. And he will go on to drive and wear with the rebound. A 6-0 burst here for SFA to extend their lead to 7. And a foul. It's offensive. It's on Antwi Bosiako, illegal screen.
Way too aggressive, and of course a moving screen right there by SFA. And I want to highlight again ACU's ball screen coverage. We know Stephen F. Austin likes to run the middle of the court ball screen. I'm talking to Coach Tanner earlier in the week, and he said, hey, you know, that's our weakness. If any offensive team can run that against us well, we're going to get scored on. But right there, ACU is really going to have to pride itself on the ball screen coverage.
Another turnover force. Going and saving it was Bobron. And now could juice the other way. Couldn't flip it up and in. Neither could Bobron. And here comes Abilene Christian. A rifle to Cameron. And then Hawkins, you just see the hands in every passing lane. It's taught in the program, and you have to buy into that system when you go to SFA. And all of them, they do that. Both of these programs do that really, really well.
That's the only way you're going to get minutes. I mean, you make half-court shots, great, but you got to play some defense to play for both of these coaches.
Daniels, who's been red hot offensively as of late, he missed it. Pleasant was fouled.
Foul called on SFA.
That'll be team foul number 6 for the Lumberjacks.
Matching that physicality, Joe Pleasant, again, earns his 1,000th career point against, you know, the loss to Grand Canyon on national television, and maintaining that attitude of physicality down low is really what his Wildcats need here tonight.
ACU having a hard time just holding on to the ball. Daniels with 7 to shoot it. 3 for Deba, he'll get one off. And that did hit the rim somehow, but that's a shot clock violation. Stephen F. Austin with a 7-point lead, a little more than 8 minutes in.
SFA does a really good job at forcing ACU not just inside, but also in the perimeter, away from the basket, away from the ball. If ACU can challenge them, physicality, not just defensively, but offensively, they can go on a run here.
On a drive, it's a foul. Jaleel Bobron's going to go to the line and shoot a couple. I like the offensive philosophy so far for SFA as well. Joe Pleasant with the foul. Free throws coming up.
Team foul number 6 on the Wildcats. At the line shooting 2, number 12, Jaleel Bobron.
Bobron, the junior out of Miami. Transfer from Southwest Baptist. Played for a couple of seasons there, Division II out of the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Played in 45 games in a couple of seasons. First year with him. the Lumberjacks lead up to 8. That free throw no good. ACU trying to solve the riddle at this end. A rifle, good couple of passes. Diva for 2.
That seems to be an answer, and ACU, the best passing team in the Western Athletic Conference, passing ball movement. So fundamental, but it will get you places.
ACU top 25 in the country in assists per game at 16. Nice kind of jump stop and finish there for Tesino, who's able to convert it. And now Diva. He's been quite a focal point for Abilene Christian as of late. No good that time.
You just have an inside force that can drive and post up, and for ACU, you just kind of got to call some plays for him.
A foul as Kajust was on the move. What a great addition to SFA. AJ Kajust, the junior out of Indian River State College. Just provided such a extra level of athleticism for this SFA bunch. And he's doing it on both ends of the floor. His defense might even be better than his offense this year as well.
Well, you know, top 5 in the conference in assists with 4, and then top 5 in the conference in steals. I mean, what else do you want in a guard? And he can also hit an open shot. I mean, you have everything that you want in an ideal guard in your rotation. And for Coach Kyle Keller, just a really excellent recruit this season to go on a run here as a top 4 seed in the WAC.
Out of Boca Raton, Florida, a junior. You know, it wasn't in the starting lineup a lot early. You know, it takes new faces to a program. It takes some time to adjust. A couple of starts in the first 11 games, but he has started 15 of the last 16. He is really, really something special at that point guard spot. A 10-point SFA lead. Abilene Christian 4 for 15 from the field with 4 turnovers. Pleasant's going to add to it, and a chance for 3.
With the and 1.
Beautiful basket by Joe Pleasant. Amazing pass by Hunter Jack Madden, but it started with Arion Simmons. Arion Simmons, again, an all-WAC preseason conference player on the second team. Not only can he score and defend and shoot the ball, but he can also pass at that size and that level and that strength, and just using his body to post up the defenders, look for guys cutting. That's what happened there. And I think ACU is finding the answers to the riddle of SFA's defense.
Joe Pleasant back for his 5th season. Returns after transferring to Wichita State last year. Basically an all-time legend at this place at Abilene Christian. Part of 2 NCAA tournament teams for ACU. 7-point ball game. It's Ware with 12. Pulls back off to the left, and the rebound to Diva.
For SFA settling for jump shots like that, ACU's got to get on the run and capitalize.
Allen trying to do it. His three's no good. A career 40% three-point shooter. His 4th year with Abilene Christian. So we're a little more than halfway through this first half. Backside, extra pass, and the 3 is buried for Jossel.
With one of the tallest lineups for ACU, SFA's challenging them laterally with the quickness and speed, and we saw it here. Again, you got to help the helper, and again, if you're helping on that drive, who's going to help on that backside corner cut? And you have a shooter like Jossel, again, just making you pay. SFA's got these 3-and-D wings. They can just hit open shots and make you pay from distance.
His first points of the evening with a terrific sharpshooter. Kansas transfer. A foul at this end. 1-and-1 coming up for the foul on Hall.
That's his first of the game, team foul number 8.
His first personal, and Simmons will shoot a 1-and-1. That's the 8th foul on SFA here in the first. And Arion Simmons, no good on the front end. Simmons yet to score. He's been a little up and down lately, coming off of a terrific 20-point game at Grand Canyon, but was 0 for 6 with 2 points 2 games ago at home against Sam Houston. Ware. 4 for Cajuste. He's a mile away. Launches one up and in. Oh my goodness.
If you're a defender, you just look at that shot and say, man, okay, that was an excellent shot. We didn't really do anything right there that caused that.
Simmons, his answer's good. Abilene Christian has the 3.
And then your best defense is your best offense, and Arion Simmons, as he goes, ACU goes, and whenever he has a great game, ACU has a great game. So let's see if that correlates here against Stephen F. Austin.
My goodness, though, that shot for Cajuste at the end of the shot clock.
Electric.
Sometimes you get an answered prayer. Cajuste again, another extra step away, just short that time. He's going to get another opportunity on the drive here. Contact. 14 to shoot it. There's Hall, the flush, and the feed from Jossel.
And it looked like Brett Tanner wanted a travel call right there when Jossel caught the ball, but just didn't go their way.
Foul at this end. Free throws when we come back. SFA up a dozen. How about that from Cajuste?
That's his first of the game. Team foul number 9.
WAC Vegas. More teams, more games. The 2023 Hercules Tires WAC Basketball Tournament. March 6th through the 11th. At the Michelob Ultra Arena and the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. For ticket information, go to wacsports.com.
The world needs more light bringers and courageous leaders who inspire us, game changers and risk takers who never play small, creative thinkers and God seekers who uplift us. You see, the future is ours to create. We hold it in our hearts. We mold it with our hands. We light the fire within.
Stephen F. Austin in front of Abilene Christian by 12 here in the first half. Let's talk ACU's side and one of their veterans, Damian Daniels, a recent milestone he hit. Let's say hello to Daisy Strine.
Thanks, guys. Our very own 5'7" speedy senior Damian Daniels made ACU history this week in achieving the most career steals. Damian has led the Wildcats in steals for the past 3 seasons and has always been a strong defensive weapon for the Wildcats. He now has 222 career steals and is only looking to increase that number tonight. Back to you, Zach.
Daisy, thank you. Yeah, look at that. 222 of them in his 5th year with the program. The 2018-19 season was his freshman campaign. He's one of just a handful of players on the roster that experienced both NCAA tournament appearances for Abilene Christian. And a couple of years ago, he was the Southland Conference Tournament MVP, the 5th year out of Kansas City.
And second all-time in assists for ACU, nearing first place and averaging a career high in points per game this season. Really, season highs across the board. Really stepped up to the plate that Coach Tanner called him up to lead.
Ali Deba, no, couldn't get the front end of the 1-and-1. Abilene Christian is now 4 for 6 at the foul line, but both of the misses have come on the front ends of 1-and-1. Chances down by a dozen. Boburn underneath, nice pass, but the finish unable to do so with great defense by ACU. It was Tezeno no good, but then Allen couldn't get it, and Deva's there for the putback.
Right there, right time, and again, just maximizing your size and your length, and Ali Deba just knowing where to get to his spots, and 10-point lead for SFA.
Asked Brett Tanner, what's been the biggest growth for Ali Deba this year? He said, defense.
Yeah.
That's how you play.
Yep.
That's how you play for us. And that's where he's gotten better the most, and it makes it an easy choice to see minutes. That's a double dribble, I believe.
Double dribble
on Matt Heyman.
The Lumberjacks, it'll be ACU ball.
At the 7-minute mark of the first.
Re-entering for the
Back to ACU, playing hustling for the basket.
And for Coach Tanner and ACU coaching staff, that's what you say when you try and recruit a guy like Ali Diba coming out of Chicago State. He was a prolific scorer, can get up and down the floor and make plays for others, but Coach Tanner says, hey man, that's awesome, we're going to use you like that, but we need you to defend, and he's really grown, and now's the time for him to be a prime defender for the Wildcats heading, less than 5 games before WAC Vegas.
Simmons on the elbow, kind of a line drive. I don't know how he got that up. Gets it to go, back to an 8-point difference.
And the series that ACU runs when they use Arion Simmons out of the high post seems to be really effective and efficient. Look for them to go back to that time and time again.
Look at this. You just see Allen diving everywhere. Ware brings it back with 13 to shoot it. Another hedge. And the recover from Pleasant. Another screen set. Tesano sets it up. Ware's got it. 3 to go. Roddy Ware. High off the glass. No good. Just rims off. Daniels, a lot of traffic. Pulls up and hits.
Daniels.
Timeout, Kyle Keller. Damian Daniels is averaging 14 points a game over the last 5 games.
And here's another point for Damian Daniels, making sure, hey, it's 1-on-2, and I'm going on a pull-up jumper. Damian Daniels so quick, playing, some really good point guards in college basketball across the country. Played a kind of a quick to slow middle of the pace, and Damian Daniels is one of those point guards, just making it easy out there for him on the offensive side of the ball.
Daniels, 51% shooting in the last 5 games as well. He has been at an all-time great offensively. You know what he brings to the table with steals and assists and setting up shop. But now they can rely on number 1 to go get him a basket when they need to as well.
Absolutely, Zach, and the little things of being the floor general, being the communicator, translating what Coach Tanner says to the huddle, just being that extra coach, that extra leader out there on the hardwood has just really made a career season for Damian Daniels.
A 6-point ball game now, and a 6-0 run for Abilene Christian. Hall back out there. Kajust rising fire, short. Ball tapped around, and it'll head to Abilene Christian.
It'll be ACU ball.
Nearing a 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Lumberjacks.
And the Lumberjacks have had really good looks at the rim, both inside and on the perimeter, just testing ACU's help defense. But when you're in a rut like that, ACU's got to capitalize if you're them.
Cameron trying to capitalize. It rims off. Ware one-arms a rebound. Jossel denied, and then there's Hall. He just cleans up the mess. Boy, he has been so good at both ends of the floor this year.
He just knows where to be. He knows that, okay, if I'm going to have a guy like Jossel, a really great guard who can finish inside, if he misses, I got to help him out, and he did that there.
Pulling it back. No good for Simmons. Can they run? Hard to do. Both sides are going to have a hard time doing that tonight unless you can get the turnovers and get out and go. Pick and pop. Turning Hall, yes.
Day Hall.
So hard to beat good footwork, man. I mean, Day Hall at that size and frame, really known to kind of bruise you down low, but he has guard-like footwork. That's going to be hard to match up against one-on-one.
A good response to go back up 10. Simmons trying to do a lot on his own. Now Allen turned it over. Jossel got there, get his hand on it. Trying to get it to Pleasant. Boy, Ware is just directing traffic, isn't he? The veteran out there. Hall again. Daniels went down, had to recover. That is a 3. Kajust.
Constantly testing the help side defender for ACU. Damian Daniels was down low in the paint. That would have been an easy bucket for SFA. So ACU's really got to get it together. Now on offense, don't get the ball near the baseline because you're going to get trapped. They've had several turnovers on that so far.
Cameron with 10 on the timer. Now Pleasant to work again, and he'll have another chance at a 3-point play. finishing on the left side, and he will have a free throw when we come back. Abilene Christian trying to hang around in the first half, down 13. Trying to cut into that here and try to make it a 10-point game. But it's just been the SFA defense has done a great job of holding ACU to 40% shooting, and they've turned them over 5 times.
It's shaping up to be like that December game. SFA running away with it. ACU, you hear the footsteps of the Wildcats, and now again, you're back down 10. 3:40 left in the first half. Can you go on a run here? It's a game of runs. It's basketball. Let's see what ACU can cook up.
Meanwhile, SFA shooting 54% from the field here in this first half. Hawkins is doubled. Got through it, and Kajust, who's been everywhere in the first half with 8 points, has it here. Step back, look at the handles. Underneath, we have a whistle first. And a turnover. 3 seconds in the lane, second time that's been called on the Lumberjacks in the first half.
And that cost SFA a really good look, a driving layup at the rim. Several turnovers where you look back at the game, you know, still very early on in the basketball game, but SFA, if you limit those, what more opportunities can you get offensively? And that's a question that may never be answered here in the game.
Cameron trying to lob it up over the top and too high. ACU with a substitution of Leonardo Bettiol, number 3. Redshirt freshman out of Italy. Hunter Jack Madden substitution into the game for ACU as well. The junior out of Australia. Under 3 to go in a 10-point game in this first half. $17 to shoot it. Hall back and down, charge.
Offensive foul.
Second foul for Hall, who's already got 10 points and 5 boards.
Putting him in one-on-one coverage. Day Hall, very physical type of player, 10 points on the night, and that's because of his aggressiveness. But it also might be a sign of weakness. And for ACU, you want to do the little things, the things that you're like, oh, it doesn't show up on the box score, it doesn't show up on the highlight reels, but taking charges, putting SFA in those type of positions to turn the basketball over is a key to success.
Hall goes to the bench. 5 double-doubles this year and a top 30 shooting percentage from the field in the country. Bettiol, awkward catch, goes up and it's no good. Pleasant's been everywhere for Abilene Christian. Keeps it alive, 17 to shoot it. Now the ball's loose again. This is crazy. Daniels trying to end that possession with a 3 and now a foul. Hawkins got hit as he went for it, and it'll be a 1-and-1 coming the other direction.
And ACU's got some of their biggest posts down there, and Bettiol and Pleasant, but now, you know, little things add up. ACU, since last season, has been known as a team to lead not only the conference, but also the country in fouls per game. That's something that you can't really win consistently out of if you clean that up, stay disciplined. Just think about the amount of opportunities that you can have and the less amount of opportunities that your opponent has at the charity stripe, like we're seeing now with Hawkins.
Hawkins back to the line, 7 points in the half, make it 8, and another free throw coming for number 0. Third year at SFA, playing in his 67th career game, now over 500 points in his time with the Lumberjacks. With 2 and change to go as Ware returns to the lineup for Hawkins. 12-point lead for the visitors. Feels like a big final 2 minutes here for ACU, down a dozen.
I absolutely agree, and for ACU, you go back to playing through Deba and Arion Simmons.
Those two touch it consecutively there, 10 on the timer. Jackson, now Pleasant, he'll pull up, hit. He's got already 10 in the first half.
It's going to have to be a big front court game for ACU. SFA is doing a great job at neutralizing the guards for ACU, trapping them and showing them hard and aggressive looks. They can get consistent looks like that from Joe Pleasant, they can get back in this game.
$10 to shoot it. Heyman looking, doubled. Turning, Tezano caught that one. I don't know if that was his plan when he caught that ball, but he converts it. 70 seconds until halftime. Simmons, that one out of bounds. Stays here. Coming up, ESPN halftime report. Got Connor Mullins. We got Cohen Carpenter up there here in Moody Coliseum. First half stats coming up, highlights and analysis as well. It's all coming up on the ESPN halftime report. Can't wait to talk to the boys upstairs. A minute one, talking to, it looked like Bobrin and Pleasant. ACU looking for a lob potentially. No, here's Diva, lost it. And it'll stay with ACU with 16 to shoot.
And because of the length of the Lumberjacks, ACU's not getting the type of quality looks that one, they're used to, and two, that they would like. And now kind of puts the pressure on the perimeter players for the Wildcats. Can you beat SFA off the dribble?
That's Diva. He's going to take a three and hit it. It's his third three of the year. My goodness.
And that's the type of perimeter performance that ACU needs consistently, whether it's from Diva or Jay-Sean Jackson or Hunter Jack Madden. They need that night in and night out.
About a 23-second difference. Cajuste, it almost went down. He'll shoot a pair. Terrific handles with the ball.
Foul
on Abilene Christian. It's on Simmons, and free throws coming for Cajuste.
Just a great job at beating Arion Simmons off the dribble. On these fouls, yes, you know, they get your opponent to the free throw line, obviously, but also kind of lacks your offense a little bit. Ali Diba making his first three of the year, the confidence that it took to shoot that three-point jumper on the left side of the wing. These fouls kind of stall the game out, kind of lag from one offensive momentum you may have, and you get a good free throw shooter like AJ Cajuste to the line, and you know, just not a good recipe for success.
80% for the season is Cajuste. .78 attempts at the line coming in. Lead back to 11 for the Lumberjacks. Half a minute to go here in the first. About a 6-second difference. ACU wants to use most of the time. No good for Diva, and now a whistle. It's out of bounds. And so ACU will have it with 8 seconds.
And now for ACU, use all 8.3 seconds you would hate to turn the ball over in. SFA has proven not only here tonight, but throughout the course of the season, and when they get that steal, they're out there on the other end and they'll make you pay. So ACU, run a nice play, 8.3 seconds. Let's see what you can do to here and in the half.
See what kind of look they can get. Got to get it in first. They do. It's Hunter Jack Madden, 5 seconds. Looking for Diva. It's stripped with 2.2. Abilene Christian will have another look.
Out of bounds off the Lumberjacks. It'll stay with ACU.
Dangerous pass to get it into Diva here.
Absolutely, just a really tough passing angle right now. At 2.2, if you don't got a lob, you just gonna have to go to work here with Arion.
Simmons will take it, and it's no good. How did that not rim in? Wow. That takes us to halftime. Abilene Christian is 5-10 this year when they trail at the break. SFA has the lead at the intermission, 42-31. The ESPN halftime report coming up after these messages.
And welcome back to Moody Coliseum. Connor Mullins alongside Cohen Carpenter. SFA up 42-31 here at Moody Coliseum tonight. It's been a really fun game tonight here in Moody. What did you see in that first half specifically from both sides?
Well, it's been a fun game if you're a Lumberjacks fan, but if you're a Wildcats fan, this has been a no good, very bad, awful first half, to put it lightly. I mean, when you're talking about the Wildcats' performance, last time they were out here in Moody Coliseum, Coach Brett Tanner really emphasized, he said we got out-toughed for the first time all season. And it looks like it's kind of the same storyline here tonight. Every single notable stat, the Wildcats are losing. They've been out-rebounded, the Lumberjacks have more steals, and most importantly for this Wildcat squad that lives and dies by the three, they haven't been shooting the ball well at all.
And now it's time for our first half stats presented by the First Bank Texas. SFA 56% from the floor in that first half, 67% from the three-point line, 83% from the free throw line compared to ACU 71%, and 8 turnovers for SFA compared to ACU 6. But a really defensive battle. ACU struggling on the offensive end. For Coach Tanner's team in this second half, what would you like to see from ACU to kind of cut into this SFA lead?
Well, we could talk about shooting percentages, but it's what really is behind those shooting percentages that matters. The Wildcats are getting open shots. This is a team that moves the ball very well. The assist numbers reflect that. You look at the season and you look how they compare to the entire NCAA, the Wildcats are good at sharing the love on offense. But when you get those open shots, you got to make them, especially against this Lumberjack defense that Joseph Chapa was mentioning during the game. They are very good on the point, on the ball defense. They're going to contest a lot of them. So when you get these wide open shots, you got to make them. And we're seeing these shots being missed in the paint. And we were talking about shooting percentages. Going back to that, they've made 1 3-point the entire first half. It's just, this is what they live and die by offensively, is from the 3-point line from downtown. And so far, it's been nada.
Yeah, SFA and ACU, very storied programs dating back a long way. Coach Tanner even coaching at SFA at one point. Coach Bostic playing for SFA. So these are two programs that know each other very well. Past couple meetings, SFA's gotten that lead at halftime, and then ACU's kind of chipped away in those past couple meetings. We will see if that happens again tonight. Final thought for you, Cohen.
Yeah, I mean, when you got two teams like this, anything can happen. When you're playing rivals like SFA, Sam Houston, this is going to come down to the wire. It may not look like it right now at halftime, but trust us, stay tuned. This is going to be a tight one.
It'll be a very tight game in this second half as we head to break. Connor Mullins, Cohen Carpenter, this has been your ESPN Halftime Report.
Okay, you guys on it? Oh, we got the first track at the close. But that's not it. That's not it. Okay, who did it? Who gets the winning code? That's not it.
It is halftime. Second half is coming up in just a little bit. Stephen F. Austin with the 11-point lead at the break over ACU. Welcome courtside, everybody. Zach Carlisle with Joseph Chapa and Daisy Stride. Well, first half here, SFA pulled away there about middle point of it, and they've built up the double-digit point lead.
And they certainly have, and again, capitalizing on the mistakes of ACU, the size and length that they provide defensively. ACU's in a blunder. It's your chess game. They want to get some open threes, they want to get some open layups, but it's so contested and congested down there in the paint that they're really going to have to solve that riddle. That's the SFA's defense.
Take a look at the first half stats presented by First Bank Texas. You see the shooting. Couple more threes for SFA. Boy, they've been good on the glass too, have they not? 21 rebounds there in the first half. 4 of them offensive. Points in the paint, 18 of them for SFA as well, and they've got the 11-point lead.
And getting to the foul line as well. That was one of the keys to the game, and SFA is executing that perfectly. It's a point of emphasis that every opponent, when they face against Abilene Christian has to fix that part of the game. Here tonight, and SFA is going to keep jabbing away.
Yeah, to your point, 10 out of 12 at the foul line as well for the Lumberjacks. And individually, Hall and Cajuste each with 10 points. They both have been really good in the first half.
They can get inside, they can get to the line, but man, we really saw that great three-point shot by Cajuste. I mean, again, SFA is really defining better offense, beats great defense, and the shot creators that Coach Cal Keller has there on the floor has just been amazing. Look for ACU to change their defensive scheme just a little bit and come out here with a little bit of fire here in the second half.
Yeah, the turnovers started pretty hot. It was about 5 for each side. We finished with 14 total turnovers in the first half, so I'm curious to see if those numbers pick up with how good both of these defenses are at taking the ball away.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think for ACU, you can just not get the basketball on the baseline or that corner area because SFA, again, their size and length, they're going to double team you there, and ACU's already turned the ball over multiple times during multiple possessions, so let's see what they do here defensively against the Lumberjacks.
SFA trying to complete the season sweep of Abilene Christian. These two teams met 3 times last year, including in Vegas. This is a steal for Arion Simmons. No good, and Cameron is fouled, and that's about as perfect of a start for ACU as they could have asked in the second half.
Just making a statement, and again, Arion Simmons getting into the passing lanes here, denying the basketball, but kind of over-helping just a little bit, but it paid the price well, and Tobias Cameron able to help him out there.
Cameron, the trailer, he draws the foul. A scoreless first half for Tobias Cameron. The grad student, the 6th year, the super senior, all those superlatives. He'll have his senior day on Saturday against Utah Valley. Been around a long time. His role has evolved throughout the course of his career, and he's into the scoring column for the first time tonight.
And Coach Tanner, during his coaches show this week, he said, it's going to be a very emotional night against Utah Valley. Their senior night here at Moody Coliseum, but also he says, I've coached Damian Daniels really hard, but I also coached Tobias Cameron just as hard. And we're seeing the byproduct of that over the course of his 6-year career in the purple and white.
A little bit of backcourt pressure, not a ton from ACU. Try to speed the Lumberjacks up, a team that shot 56% from the floor in the first half. Backing down, Tesano. 15 on the timer. Here comes Cajuste. We mentioned it, him and Hall led the way with 10 points apiece in the first half. Hawkins, it rolls off, no good. And now a foul, and Cameron and Tesano were going after it. And Tobias Cameron called for the foul. Looked like he had a hook in there. I don't know what was going on. They got all tangled up.
Just the pride for going after these 50-50 balls, and the little things are going to add up for the Wildcats to come back into this game against the Lumberjacks.
Hawkins trying to create, ball stripped. It's a foul. Simmons trying to go get it with Tesano again, who keeps getting tangled up.
Already multiple fouls here at the start of the half, and Arion Simmons, you don't want a guy like him who's making a statement on defense and who's been an elite scorer for your team on offense. And so ACU's really got to balance out. Are we going to be physical? Are we going to foul? You really got to balance that out.
Same type of play on the inbound. They get it out to Jossel. That's way out there. It's no good, and out of bounds it goes.
Out of bounds off the Lumberjacks, it'll be ACU ball.
SFA 4 for 7 from 3 for the game. 4 for 6 in that first half. Abilene Christian 2 for 7 from distance here tonight. Deba, it feels like they have to get it in number 20's hands at least some point on each possession. He's got it here, and he's blocked away. Heck of a block by Antwe Bosiaco, and then Pleasant couldn't finish it up. Who can execute in the half court? That may just decide this thing here in the second half. Hawkins, dribble drive, floater, yes.
And the question about the half-court offense, not only is that really answered and questioned in March Madness, but also in a contested, tough mid-major conference like the WAC. And again, we're seeing it here tonight, 2 of the best, if not the best 2 defenses in the WAC. Who's going to execute the best in the half court? I think Damian Daniels. I think he's listening to us, man. We might have an answer to that.
He heard you. He's got a 3. And he's got 7 points to get ACU back down 8. Cajuste lost it. Jossel gonna drive. Now it's Cajuste, that extra step out there, nylon. Wow.
13 points for Kajus, his third three of the game. You gotta stay contested, stay guarded. You gotta have an eye on him at all times.
Out of bounds. A turnover for Abilene Christian, their 7th. Back to the three.
Just kind of ball watching there a little bit for ACU. SFA does a really good job. We see Jocelyn just, swinging the basketball, dribble driving, and you have these 3-and-D wings like AJ Kajud and the rest of the crew, Nigel Hawkins, and they just capitalize on these open looks, and it's just a really great game to watch.
Up 11 again is SFA. Into the paint, onto Boseaco, had it stripped by Cameron. What a heads-up play. Now Daniels off the window. Oh, is that a technical? That's a technical foul on Damian Daniels for the celebration.
Arion Simmons pushing the ball down the floor, giving it to Damian Daniels, driving in the lane. Nice bucket by Daniels, but we see here, great job our ACUTV replay crew, but just that celebration, maintaining class and composure. And Damian Daniels knows this. He's a veteran. He's going to have his senior night on Saturday. Just a little slip up, right? Still early in the second half. So, again, a little slip up, but you got to get back into the game. You got to lock in, especially against an SFA team that's going to make you pay on these mistakes.
So Jossel will go to the line for the technical free throw. We'll have another. His first foul shot attempts of the night, 87% for the year. Insane. That's just his 6th miss of the season. Splits to make it a 10-point difference. Now SFA will have the possession.
And what this does for ACU is you see Damian Daniels going back to the bench. Damian Daniels already, that would have been his 9th point, but adding the scoring on the perimeter. ACU hasn't had that all game long. He's already had 4 fouls, so really the pressure's on ACU backcourt as much as it is on their front court. Tobias Cameron, is he going to step up? Hunter Jack Madden, is he going to step up? Maybe we'll see Cameron Steele come out and step up. We'll just have to wait and see.
So 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists is on the bench right now for Abilene Christian. Big minutes for the point guard spot here for ACU because he's got 4 fouls. 10-point game, SFA in front trying to add to it. Off the fake, oh, it's a travel on Tesano. Tried to ball fake and dribble drive, and he's called for the walk.
And those
before
are just
the
some
contact.
of the most common travel calls. Again, you're catching, you want to pump fake, you want to get your defender in the air, but again, you gotta walk before you crawl. Before you run, not walk before you crawl. You got to do those things in order. But again, capitalizing. I've said that all broadcast long. ACU's got to do a better job at that here tonight.
Back door to Diva. Hunter Jack Madden, number 12, the JUCO product. First-year Wildcat. Could be big minutes for him coming up here. 10 to shoot it. It's Cameron. Simmons, wide open. Yes.
Simmons for 3.
Wherever he goes, ACU goes.
And look at Jossel just going right down the floor off the made basket.
And it just seems like for every answer ACU gives, SFA has a better one.
And then Diva, and he's going to shoot free throws. Literally back and forth we go here in the second half. SFA by 9 right now. This is a lot of fun.
3-0 in the top of the 8th inning.
9-point lead for SFA at ACU. Interesting sequence. Simmons hits the 3 and then maybe celebrates a little bit, and it gives up a basket at the other end.
Yeah, and Coach Tanner, we saw this earlier in the conference here. You want to play with swagger, right? You want to celebrate, especially in these momentum runs. Arion Simmons hitting that corner 3, but we see the celebration there. But he has Jossel running right in front of him on that go route like an excellent wide receiver, and you just can't have that. You can't have that. You're down 9. Arion Simmons knows what it takes to win here on the floor, and Again, he's still out here because Coach Tanner needs him out here. If you're Coach Tanner, you have people saying, you know, we're going to take him out, but do you want to teach a lesson in the locker room, or do you need to win this game, especially with less than 5 games here, then heading into WAC Vegas? So you stay with Arion Simmons, you stay with the hot hand, but he's got to lock in here and lead his Wildcats.
Ali Diva at the line now for ACU, as they responded immediately after that Joncel basket, and they ran down the floor and went for the deep ball and got fouled, and so Diva makes it a 7-point difference. A lot has happened in the first 4 minutes and change of this second half. Into the paint. Oh, the two-hand, it's a foul. Antwi Bosiako went for the hammer. Simmons fouled him.
Again, Arion Simmons, foul trouble. We've heard it all season long. These things add up, man. And again, you just got to have one of your best players on the floor. For SFA, you're saying, you know, again, all of SFA is really good free throw shooters, an efficient team across the board. Arion Simmons, again, you want to stay out here on the floor. You can't foul. We'll see what happens, man.
It's interesting because you've got Daniels with 4 on the bench. Simmons now with 3. He heads to the bench. Who steps up here for ACU? That's the looming question here as we're still at the 15-minute mark of the second half.
And I look at number 11 for ACU. I look at Tobias Cameron. Look, man, again, this is going to be one of your last games here in Moody Coliseum. Step up to the plate. You know what it's like to play against Stephen F. Austin for like the millionth time in your career. So come on, come out and show out.
This is the 5th time they're playing in the last calendar year. How about that? That is a blocking foul. Inside, Cameron on the drive trying to feed it to Madden.
And this is what SFA does at a great job, is just neutralizing and take away ACU's favorite type of pace. ACU kind of likes to play a little bit of fast and a half court, but again, SFA has done a great job defensively here against the Wildcats.
Day-Day Hall back on the floor. Heyman as well. Got Bobrin as well for SFA. Pleasant on the move. Diva, now Hunter Jack Madden pulls up. Bank shot, no good. Offensive rebound for Pleasant. Kept that foot. He's fouled. Wow!
Joe Pleasant stepping up to the plate again. Zach, I'm staying with my conspiracy. They're listening to our broadcast, man. Joe Pleasant, double digits this game. Physical, tough, competitive. Knows what it takes to win against these classic rivalry opponents like Stephen F. Austin. And Joe Pleasant, if he can have another career game against this packed Moody Coliseum crowd, I mean, ACU can make a run for their money here.
Just short, first points of the second half for Pleasant. He's got a dozen to lead ACU. In the corner, Heyman! What a response for the Jacks. Wow.
And that's what they do best. I mean, well coached. Matt Heyman, again, you have a roster with so many 3-and-D wings, and they just get the job done well.
Backdoor tapped free. Stolen by Cajuste. Look at this, the handle stripped away. Diva with great D. Cameron lost it a bit, and he'll lay it in anyway.
Turning defense into offense, that's the Wildcat way, that's the ACU way.
That's a you thought would be more of a theme of this game.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it a lot from either side. That's now 8, that's it. Fast break points for Abilene Christian. SFA's got 13 of them. Where? Corner 3 again. The 7th triple for Stephen F. Austin tonight.
And no matter what ACU does, until they defend and respect the perimeter shooters of Stephen F. Austin, they're going to be down in this game.
Diva, does he have multiple threes in him? He's only hit 3 for the year. I'm not sure what there's a whistle, but I haven't seen the signal. The officials talking. They are going to go with a foul as we go back to the Ware triple.
And again, just moving the basketball, having two guys open, ACU, another possession where they're in scramble mode and capitalizing on it.
So the foul's on Bobrin for SFA. He's called for his third personal, and he'll head back to the bench. And Antwa Bosiaco back into the game. Diba lost it on that inbound. ACU's had a hard time just holding on to it. There's Pleasant. He's fouled. Boy, it's been a lot of Joe Pleasant in the paint. And he has been a force tonight for Abilene Christian.
And when they need someone to step up for ACU, it's Joe Pleasant. And again, he's not a guard. He's not necessarily a perimeter player. He plays inside. He can get up and dunk the basketball, but he can also hit some free throws. I think the Longhorns know that over there in Austin, but Joe Pleasant, if he can stay consistent here with less than 15 minutes left here in the basketball game, it's going to be a good sighting for ACU.
Free throws 6 and 7 for Pleasant tonight. Tessino returns for SFA. You've seen Abilene Christian cut it to single digits a handful of times, and as they do again to get it back to 8, here's been the response. SFA's had it every single time to go back up double digits. Here's the key possession, it feels like right now.
No, you're absolutely right. Let's see how ACU dials this up defensively.
Ware, such a silky smooth player. Lost it, Heyman out of bounds.
Out of bounds off the Lumberjacks.
Turnover number 13 for SFA tonight.
Well, if they were trying to pass it over here to our table, you know,
Yeah,
a little more
we
on
were
the half court. We were open. I mean, back in my day in high school, I could, average 3 points a game, maybe 30 on a good night, but.
Just a little bit high, trying to get it to that sideline. Diba now, lost it, loose. Look at the hands and the bodies everywhere.
And diving for the basketball right there by Emmanuel Allen slowed this possession down and allowed ACU defense to set up.
And Ware getting after it as well. A couple of old vets going down on the floor to get the ball. Heyman on the drive, kept the foot somehow and then goes off glass. Wow.
And that's just a difficult shot. I think SFA is one of those teams that they have guys in their roster who make difficult shots. You just can't really teach that.
10-point SFA advantage. Diba backdoor. Allen, haven't heard a lot from him tonight. We have now, and one.
Allen with the and one.
And speaking of difficult shots, Emmanuel Allen, he says, hey, I'm here too. Joe Pleasant, yeah, that's amazing. But I'm here too as well, getting to the lane. Joe Pleasant, great job at spacing and letting Emmanuel Allen go to work. And now an efficient clip at the foul line. Let's see how and if he hits these.
Emmanuel Allen to the line for a chance to cut it to 7 as the officials get together to discuss. Not exactly sure what they're discussing, but Arion Simmons will leave the game for Abilene Christian. Leonardo Bettiel back out there for ACU. And they're going to the scorer's table to look at something. See if we can get word as to what the review is. And while they do that, we'll try to get it to you on the other side. It's a media timeout. SFA with an 8-point lead in the second half.
I always dreamed of doing something that would make a difference, and so getting as much knowledge as possible was important to me. I love the fact that you can dream a new reality and then see it come true with hard work. Today, I know I'm making a difference, and a big part of seeing my dream come true was when I got my master's at ACU.
Get your undergraduate or graduate degree online at Abilene Christian.
For years, I trained to be the best linebacker on the field. That drive made me a top performer at the NFL Combine, and I played 5 seasons in the NFL. Now I'm working toward another dream, building my own business, training athletes to help improve their performance. I want to be the best businessman I can, so I'm getting my MBA at ACU.
Get your degree online at acu.edu.
SFA up 8. They're just checking on who the foul was on. That's all that was about. Let's talk a little ACU scheduling, how things have changed lately. Say hello to Daisy Strine.
Thank you, Zach. In recent WAC news, New Mexico State's men's basketball team has officially been administered to forfeit the last 6 games due to possible hazing allegations. This has caused a lot of change in the schedule, and Coach Tanner actually looks at this as a disadvantage because his team is ready to play games, not ready to practice all week. And the team was prepared to play the Aggies, but was forced to make multiple schedule changes. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Daisy, thank you. Yeah, that's the unique part about that. ACU is the only team to play New Mexico State twice here in the last handful of games. Those are all forfeits. They do count as conference wins. So you see ACU at 7-8 instead of 5-8, but they don't count as overall wins, so they stay at 13-13. Just a crazy kind of situation to take us into WAC Vegas. What that also tells us is we know who the 12 teams are that will be in Las Vegas in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely right, and I think out of everyone in the conference, it affected ACU the most because of those 2 games against the Aggies. And for ACU as a coach, look at your practice schedule, the treatment for your players, everything that you want to install before the tournament. You kind of push everything back or push everything forward, but ACU so far down 7 looks like they're responding well.
You basically get 2 byes each year, or each during the season. At one point, you're going to have a Thursday off. At one point, you're going to have a Saturday off. SFA into the paint, circling it home, laying it in is Tesano to go back up 9 for the Lumberjacks. ACU, in effect, now gets 4 or 5 byes, playing just the 1 game in the week. There's Diva. He's got it right back to a 7-point game, and he's got 13 points for ACU tonight. Trading punches here as we're at 11.5 to go in the second. It just always feels like, here's where, no good. It just always feels like it's a huge game. This could be played November 10th, I think. And this would feel like the biggest game of the year when these 2 teams get together. Diva, baseline.
And he's just going to work, Zach, putting his head down, knowing that ACU needs a lot of buckets here, a string of baskets, and he's providing that.
5-point game, the closest ACU has been in quite some time. Into the paint, good ball fake. Tesano couldn't finish. Up ahead, it's Allen. No. And Tesano with a board. Timeout, Kyle Keller wants to talk it over with SFA.
Timeout, SFA.
10.5 to go here in the second half. It's SFA by 5. We got a tight one in Abilene TX.
The 2023 Hercules Tires WAC Basketball Tournament. March 6th through the 11th at the Michelob Ultra Arena and the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. For ticket information, go to...
Back here in Moody Coliseum. It is SFA basketball with the 5-point advantage. Into the paint, Day Hall, contacted, nothing. Loose, ACU has it. Hunter Jack Madden! Wow, it's a 2-point game.
Everyone's stepping up for the Wildcats, and I think even the Wildcat fans here at Moody Coliseum are stepping up. Now they're getting into the run in the middle of this game.
What a time for his first points of the game. foul. Cameron was there with Heyman. Moody Coliseum's not happy. Blocking foul on Cameron here. Called for his third personal.
And for ACU, this is where you want to play 6-on-5. And what I mean by that is 5-on-5 on the court. The Moody Coliseum is your sixth player, your sixth teammate. And again, a string of momentum baskets. Hunter Jack Madden just getting in the right spot at the right time. He can pull the trigger from anywhere behind the arc, and he did it there.
You got to love the trailer in transition. Wow. A little bit of like Jenkins, you know, at the buzzer for Villanova in that champ game a few years ago. Kajust, he's got the answer. That has just been the story for SFA. It gets close, they pop a big shot, and that tray goes back up 5.
And for the defense, it's like, okay, if he makes 4 threes this game, 4, 5, 6 threes, okay, but is he going to have a hand in his face? Well, no. He's got great looks all night long, and if you contest those looks, those percentages go down, and these things add up for SFA and for ACU. Now the pressure gets in if you're going to play into a shootout.
Allen is blocked in the corner.
SFA will stay with the Wildcats.
5-point SFA lead. Allen, that thing was sent to the scoreboard behind him. Day Hall.
Re-entering for the Lumberjacks, Latrell
Jossel comes in. Kajust, well-earned minutes with a breather here. Trying to go back to Cameron. He was the inbound man, and he's fouled. Nice play design there for ACU.
Foul called on SFA on Rati.
Here in a line formation on the baseline on a bounce play. The creativity to get your scorers in positions to succeed. I think early on in the game, ACU was kind of stagnant a little bit. They run a motion offense, but they were kind of just settling down, letting the defense come to them. ACU now has done a way better job this half at going to the defense, getting to the foul line, getting their shots and their spots on the floor with their specific scoring guards.
So Cameron. He was scoreless at halftime. He's got 5 second-half points. That second one the miss. It's still a 4-point ball game. 9 minutes, a ton of hoops to go. Both teams trying to bounce back after a loss. SFA. Here's Hall. 4 on the timer. Jossel steps back. No. Allen all alone. 1-point game.
That right there has been the best string of possessions by Abilene Christian. Down to the wire on defense, getting down low. You gotta want it. Manuel Allen answering there on offense.
Wasn't for the hedge. Hawkins picked it up. He lost it. Is this Allen? It's for the lead. Wow. The first lead for Abilene Christian since it was 2-0. And this place is going crazy. ACU by 2. Abilene Christian is on a 14-3. It's a 14-3 run for Abilene Christian and a 7-0 run. Allen back-to-back threes, and ACU has their first lead since they led 2-0.
I just love when that happens here in a basketball game, Zach, because I'm just like they're appreciating the moment, and I'm letting the crowd talk. I think the viewers here at home or wherever they're watching at, after Manuel Allen hit his second 3 on this corner, great pass by Tobias Cameron. Setting his feet, Manuel Allen. And look at the crowd. I mean, the energy here at Moody Coliseum, the swagger that ACU is playing with. Man, I'm just saying, man, I'm just appreciating the moment. I'm letting Moody Coliseum analyze the play. ACU a big lead. for them. And again, a lot of hoops left to be played with 8:02 left, and you got to stay consistent here. Guys are stepping up to the plate, and they have a great lineup here on the floor.
Meanwhile, SFA coming on a 3-minute scoring drought here. Abilene Christian's hit 6 of their last 8 shots. SFA trailing for the first time since the early seconds of the game. 10 to shoot it. Corner 3, Kajust, no. Tezano got the ill board and then had it stolen. And then a foul on Simmons.
Foul called on SFA on number 13, AJ Kajust.
Timeout on the floor. ACU by a deuce. 7.5 left.
In WAC Vegas. More teams, more games. The 2023 Hercules Tires WAC Basketball Tournament. March 6th through the 11th at the Michelob Ultra Arena and the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. For ticket information, go to wacsports.com.
The world needs more light bringers and courageous leaders who inspire us, game changers and risk takers who never play small, creative thinkers and God seekers who uplift us. You see, the future is ours to create. We hold it in our hearts. We mold it with our hands. We light the fire within.
Abilene Christian by 2 on this 14-3 run over the last 5 minutes. And it does feel like things have changed on the defensive end for ACU as well, as they're making shots on the other end of the floor.
I remember what we talked about in the first half is this game might come down to who has better half-court execution, and ACU so far this half is winning that battle.
It was a foul to send us to the timeout, and so Arion Simmons is at the line for a 1-1. SFA's got 9 fouls, as you see on your screen. And so the next one after this will be double bonus the rest of the way for Abilene Christian. The 5 fouls on the Wildcats here in the second half. This is a 3-point lead, which is the largest lead of the game for ACU.
Back and forth again. Classic I-20 rivalry all the way going back to 1974. You can feel it in the atmosphere. You can see it on the court.
Nacogdoches up to Abilene. They'll go back home for a game Sunday against California Baptist. That's Jossel, no good. Some of those threes aren't falling these last few possessions as well for SFA. They're getting good looks.
They're getting quality, great looks. ACU's got to help, got to adjust defensively and guard the perimeter just as much as they do on the driving lanes.
Backdoor, Hunter Jack Madden. Free throws coming. This execution's different as well for ACU.
Well, it starts with Arion Simmons, right, Zach? Again, he's a scorer, he's clutch, he's big, he's strong, but he is a phenomenal passer. He, again, going back to the preseason, he's like the Draymond Green of the West Athletic Conference. He can do everything on the basketball floor, and when he can pass at that level, it's opened so much for your offense that even veteran ball clubs like Coach Kyle Keller's, Stephen F. Austin's team, they just are not used to playing against that, and that's why ACU is up here with this lineup on the floor.
Why not? Just let Simmons, run the show, especially with Daniels having 4 fouls on the bench for Abilene Christian. Simmons has 3 of his own. That's concerning as well for ACU, a lot to deal with, but they have a 6-point lead. Abilene Christian outscoring SFA 39-22 in the second half. Cajuste, nice find, foul. Tesano's gonna go to the line.
Just biting right there on 2 up fakes. SFA trying to do whatever they can to get some points on the board now and avoid a drought, or avoid that continuous drought. And getting to the foul line has worked all game long for the Lumberjacks. It's been the key of the game, and it's going to stay a point of emphasis here for SFA here as we end this game with almost 6 minutes left.
Tesano to the line. 8 points now tonight. Second set of free throws for Tesano, his 4th attempt now. Day Hall returns.
For SFA, number 3, Day Hall.
10 points, 5 boards for Hall. He's back out there. For the Lumberjacks, those were his numbers at halftime. Nothing in the second stanza. Pleasant, been the workhorse inside for ACU. He's got it again here through 2 defenders.
This lineup is so unique, Zach. I mean, they're athletic, they're energizers, they can all shoot, but they're moving without the basketball, and that's why they're up here.
Cajuste, it's got to go through 13 for SFA here, as it does most of the time. The point guard, that's not going to be a continuation. It's a foul on the floor. Simmons, foul number 4 for number 23. This is the Pleasant basket.
And again, drawing 2 defenders. Joe Pleasant getting behind of that, what looked like kind of like a little hybrid zone defense there, drawing those 2 defenders, getting behind them for an easy layup. And now Cajuste here at the free throw line, you say, okay, if I'm defending him, I do not want him to shoot a wide open 3. I want him to get to the paint. I want him to shoot amongst the trees versus Joe Pleasant and Arion Simmons and Ollie Deba. And let's see if they can continue to attack this tough ACU defense in the mid-range.
Cajuste. Another one coming up, 17 points now for the JUCO transfer. His 12th double-digit scoring game of the year. He's only been shooting 33% from the floor in his last 6 games. A 4 for 9 shooting performance tonight. It makes it a 4-point game. Just spectacular as we go back and forth here, but it's been ACU. They're outscoring SFA by 15 here in the second half, 41-26.
Yeah, and they have 9 more shot attempts, and they have 1 more free throw attempt. But again, I look at the assists column. 17 assists. They lead the conference in assists. They've been doing it all night long.
Abilene Christian alumni in the house, Jalen Franklin, who was a part of the 2019 Southland Championship team and the first ever appearance for Abilene Christian in the NCAA tournament. And that was Daniels his freshman year and the second year for Tobias Cameron. That's how long those 2 guys have been around for ACU.
And what makes him special in the ACU history books is, yes, not only stealing the basketball, but he was just an excellent half-court player for ACU during his time here. And I think the players now for ACU are saying, okay, we're going to try and match that against a tough elite defense of the Lumberjacks.
Franklin was the recruit that put the program over the top for Joe Golding and Brett Tanner back then. That was the recruit they saw in the gym, said we got to go get this guy, and they did, and Franklin had one heck of a career at Abilene Christian. 4-point game, Ware fouled by Allen. And for Allen, his second personal. And this is when the Moody Boo-Birds take over, replacing the Moody Bats that they had in the building before the renovation.
And I remember seeing those when I'm watching games, because again, that was before my time here broadcasting on ESPN Plus, and I just see them on the videos. I'm like, man, that is so crazy.
Yeah, that was a wild time to be around right before the renovation started. Teague Center for 2 years, and back in the brand new Moody. These two teams played in the last ever game at the old Moody. Into the paint, Pleasant again. Double teamed in there. Wow. Got their hand on the ball that time. Ware, I thought he would pop it. Down 4. Patient Lumberjack offense. Day Hall. Now Cajuste. 18 points for number 13 tonight. 10 on the timer. It's a foul. It's a charge.
Offensive foul called on the Lumberjacks. On number 13,
You see it here with this amazing replay by our ACUTV crew. You're baiting Cajuste, who's a perimeter shooter. You're baiting him to the paint. If you're Cajuste right there, you say, hey, I can't fall for the defensive tactics. You want to go and get a step-back jumper, a pull-up jumper, or just move the basketball, move without the basketball. What makes great shooters great is not only can they hit open shots when they catch the ball, but they can move without it. That's going to be the challenge for SFA's star guard here tonight.
16 turnovers now for the Lumberjacks, just 9 for Abilene Christian. Taking care of the ball against a team that turns you over 18 times a game. It's Allen. That 3 no good. Rebound pulled down by Hall. Cajuste now in transition. Off the glass, no, it stays here. With 4.5.
Pushing the basketball, you question, he might be doing a little too much with the basketball. You want to savor every single possession here, as we see Coach Keller just calling the play here on the baseline out of bounds play, just trying to get someone else involved than Cajuste.
That was close. That could have gone either way. SFA keeps possession, and it's Ware. 4.5 to go. Jacks down 4, needing a basket. No field goals in the last 5 minutes for SFA. And they change it right here with Day Hall to cut it back to 2. First points of the second half for number 3.
Day Hall, I think what's very underrated about his play is that he's a clutch performer. When throughout the season SFA has been down late, they turn to Hall and he answers right back.
Diva, floater. Got it back. He'll put it back in. Ali Diva going to work.
It's our 2 impact players competing against each other, and why they're impact players is because they're stars who shine the brightest when they need to, and now here in crunch time they're doing just that.
52 combined points in the paint tonight, 28 for Abilene Christian. 3.5 to go. Good handles from Cajuste, good D from Diva. Charge!
Offensive foul called on the Lumberjacks on number 2, Rocky.
Abilene Christian's got it, up 4.
In the game. And we have a media. And fans here, Wildcats hit more than 7 threes tonight, which means everyone in attendance will receive the buy one, get one coupon.
Abilene Christian in front by 4 with 3.5 minutes to go here in the ball game. Spectacular game. What's coming up for ACU? Just 2 games left. Their final home game Saturday night. Utah Valley, top team in the league, coming to town before they head to Sam Houston. 2 massive games for ACU to close out the regular season. 3.5 minutes left. A big one here tonight. SFA trying to bounce back after the loss to UTA last Saturday. ACU trying to snap a 2-game losing streak with a forfeit win in between. Stays at this end with 3 minutes to go. There's the studio. You saw Cohen, he was up there at halftime. Now he's there in the studio working, cranking it out. There's Connor there behind Hutton, it's our talent. Then they go in the studio, double duty. It's fun to watch those guys operate throughout the course of the season. Just a handful of basketball left in the regular year. Travel on Pleasant, turnover for Abilene Christian. And for ACU, Joseph, it might be the story that doesn't get talked about enough. Just 10 turnovers for ACU against one of the best defenses in the country.
And that's what you have to do against, you said it, and the tough stretch that you have in the remaining schedule against an elite defense. You go to Utah, or you stay here against Utah Valley, the best team in the WAC, and Sam Houston, another great team offensively.
Hall short. Missed opportunity. Day Hall's had a tough second half. 1 for 3 shooting and a rebound. That's it for number 3.
And one of the reasons why they've taken care of the basketball so well is that they're slowing the game down. They're playing at their own pace compared to the first half.
Way too high, trying to get it to Pleasant. Ooh, he comes up limping. And Joe Pleasant, oh boy, he is clearly in some pain. Tried to walk it off, holding that left ankle. Ooh, you never want to see that. Oh my. They're going to get 32 off the floor.
Just a very contested, congested window to get the ball in. You know, just hope he's okay.
Emmanuel Allen.
Never want to see that. Pleasant, a game he was having too. 16 points and 9 boards. Sniffing a double-double. Big possession for the Lumberjacks. Hall off the glass for 2. He missed it short the previous possession. He delivers that time.
And to fill the void of Joe Pleasant is you plug in Emmanuel Allen. I mean, that's just a great option to have off the bench, and this is a lineup that's worked well for the Wildcats.
Allen, he's hit big threes all night. Not that time. Hall with the board. Where? Oh, step back. No good. Smooth handles, but deep on the shot.
You need that if you're ACU. No open looks, no catch and shoot opportunities. Make them beat you off the dribble. Tough contested looks. And now if you're ACU, slow the game down. Let Hunter Jack Madden or Arion Simmons be the quarterback here.
Simmons out there with 4 fouls. 1:12. Simmons. An air ball. Out of bounds. What a play by Allen. And a timeout for Brett Tanner, it appears. With 1:06. Did he get this off of SFA?
Well, we saw in that play, it was a pick and pop opportunity. Arion Simmons chose to take that contested look, had someone open, but again, Emmanuel Allen going for the ball, making a play, but we gotta see, we gotta check if it's ACU's ball. I mean, Coach Tanner's certainly preparing for it.
So a 2-point ACU lead. Allen was in the air trying to throw that off of a Lumberjack.
Yep.
The question is, who touched it last out of bounds? That's what they are looking at. See if we can get a look here. It's after the Simmons miss.
There's the miss. And you can see Emmanuel Allen aiming for the foot there. Right? Or at least the ankle, just somewhere in the lower body for, again, that Lumberjack to not go out and throw it back or kind of hit it back to Emmanuel Allen.
See if this gives us the look we're needing. So you see the miss. Then it goes out of bounds. And so the question is, Allen, did he get airborne? Did he throw it off of? It just depends.
Yeah.
Was Allen out of bounds first?
Exactly.
Or then did he throw it off of SFA who was standing out of bounds? Haven't seen the best look to tell us that just yet. The call on the floor is ACU basketball. The other thing to sort out is the shot clock. That ball did not, or did it hit the rim on the shot? There's a lot to look at here.
Well, it doesn't look like it hits the rim. But now that question is, was he already out of bounds already?
Right.
You see the refs kind of taking a look at it, slowing it down millisecond by millisecond. Again, it didn't hit the rim, so did Emmanuel Allen, was he in bounds first? Okay, if you check that box, did he hit it off the foot? It seems like they're kind of nearing that decision, if not already made it here.
Again, you have to have enough to change it.
Yeah.
The call on the floor is ACU ball. It is going to stand. It's ACU ball. But the ball did not hit the rim. There's 1 on the shot clock.
I mean, you know, you're Coach Tanner, you're like, okay, we get the ball back, but with 1 second left, you just run a lob, baseline out of bounds play, but you have to be ready to get back on defense. We saw it earlier in the game where ACU's not back on defense. SFA will make you pay no matter what happens here for ACU off of this baseline out of bounds play. Get back on defense.
1 to shoot it. 1:08 left. Instant classic. Hunter Jack Madden. Oh, they're going to call the foul. They are calling the foul on Jossel.
Let's take a look here. Damian Daniels surveying traffic on the catch right there, on the shooting motion. Right there, I think that's what the refs are basing it off of on that initial call.
Is this a shooting foul? Or is this a personal foul on the floor? That's what we have to figure out. If it's a shooting foul, it's 3 free throws.
Yeah.
If it's a personal foul, it's a bonus, a double bonus free throws, which would be 2. You gotta figure out, did he catch it and then shoot it and get fouled in that process, or did he get fouled when he caught the ball? Here's what we'll look.
And making sure it's within time too. He cuts, he catches it. As soon as he catches it, you have Jossel coming over, but he's already in that shooting motion, and the ref's got to slow it down to determine those 2 things. Is it personal? Is it on the shooting motion? Because it looked like, you know, that right hand, that forearm, getting ready to extend and shoot the ball. We'll see what they come up with
What
here.
helps Madden here is he didn't let it get to his body to catch it. He caught it away from his body and then tries to shoot it. But the question is, when did the foul occur? Did it occur when he caught it, or did it occur in the motion of shooting? And that determines the type of foul. And that's what the officials are looking at. With a minute 6. They did signal for the foul, so that it's going to be free throws. The question is how many for Hunter Jack Madden right here. Wow, a lot to dissect.
And he's a 77% free throw shooter on the year, so that's someone for SFA you don't want to send to the free throw line. But now for SFA, no matter how many free throws he shoots, you gotta come up with some plays to not only score quickly, but get a stop and then score again.
So look one more time. So he catches it, and then a foul. The shot clock was at play too, obviously, because there was just the 1 second. I don't know if they can go back and add a shot clock violation. I don't know if that's possible. But they're gonna at least determine the type of foul. With 1:06. It's anybody's guess. And I'm not also quite sure of what they called on the floor. We saw them signal foul, but I didn't know if they called that shooting or if they called it on the floor.
Deck, yeah.
And so, a lot of standing around and trying to figure it out here. Coach Keller trying to get a look at the monitor himself.
Trying to determine, and what we do know, Zach, is that ACU, throughout the course of this entire second half, they've been wanting it more. They've been having a change of tone, a change of attitude, a change of heart, and we saw it there first with Emmanuel Allen keeping that possession, keeping that drive alive, and we might now, I guess we saw it here with Hunter Jack Madden, just making the plays necessary that don't necessarily show up on the box score.
The Wildcats are taking on the Sooners. We move on to the bottom of the
74 to 72. The type of foul, that's the question. We don't have the answer yet. The officials still getting together, and maybe they've come up with their solution. They're going to talk to the coaches. What's your guess, America? We'll tell you if you're right.
I'll tell you what, Zach, if you're a coach right now, you're preparing for at least 3 possibilities, and to see a ref walking over to you, Zach, let us know.
It's a shot clock Okay, they are going to add that the catch was made. There was enough space between the defender and Hunter Jack Madden before the foul occurred. They are changing it to a shot clock violation. Here's probably your best look. You see the zeros.
Yeah, it already hit. It already hit right there. And again, the shot clock violation was already off, so now they ruled it. And they had the ability to go back and change that and review that. So great call right there by the crew chief. And now ACU gets that defensive possession where they got to get a stop here.
So the official comes over to clarify. You could see the zero up above before the contact was made from the bodies. So they call the shot clock violation and SFA ball.
Good call. That was an excellent call.
Well done by the officials. 2-point game, 1 minute to go. Buckle your seatbelts. Cajuste. He's fouled and one.
AJ Cajuste with the and one.
AJ Cajuste. A chance for the lead for the Lumberjacks.
And the challenge for him was he's a threat outside on the perimeter, but now he's getting to the foul line, getting inside, becoming a 3-level scorer threat, and he did it with 52 seconds left in the game for his Lumberjacks.
A 21-point game, and SFA by 1. Incredible. Now the other direction. A 21-second difference between the game and shot clock, and a foul on Jocelyn. His third, it's free throws for Hunter Jack Madden.
Wildcats in the double bonus. Hunter Jack Madden.
Wow, this game is something else.
All wrapped up in physicality, the rivalry. Everyone here at Moody Coliseum's on their feet.
Meanwhile, that free throw is very significant. That snaps a 3.5-minute scoring drought for Abilene Christian. Their first points in 3.5 minutes, and that ties the game. Their largest lead was 6 for ACU here in the second half. And the second one's no good, and we're tied. One timeout left for SFA, 3 for ACU. SFA is going to call their final one right here. A lot of options for SFA. So we'll see what they want to do offensively here in this tie game with 32.7 to go as we say welcome courtside. I mean, it almost feels like Cajuste has to be the guy right here, right? He just got the and one to put SFA in front.
Well, you drop a play around him, and he's proven that, yes, got 4 threes on the night, but he can drive to the lane. He can get in a pull-up mid-range, a step-back mid-range jumper, a floater. So you drop around that. Now the question is, does ACU double? How does ACU defend that here? This is a crucial possession for both the offense and the defense.
Yeah, so Cajuste just got that and one to turn that into a 1-point lead. Then Hunter Jack Madden goes 1 out of 2 at the line. His first miss of the game from the free throw line. And so that kept it at a tie game. Now SFA with 20 on their shot clock.
And also, how fast do you want the shot to go? I mean, again, you know that ACU, they've had really good momentum. Despite that scoring drought, the entirety of the second half, they've had really good offensive momentum. So do you want to be quick and then, you know, have a promise back and get in another offensive possession, or do you want to kind of slow it down, read the defense, maybe even get an and one opportunity?
Cajuste will take charge. Daniels out there defending him. Spread it out.
Isolation look. You got your best player here on the floor tonight.
And the best defender for Abilene Christian. 5 for the timer. Cajuste knifing through, kept it alive. It's a steal. No, SFA got it back. 10 seconds. One more shot. Cajuste. He's fouled with 4.1. Simmons is fouled out of the game. hit him out on that three-point line.
And Coach Tanner wanted Damian to foul right there to save time and to keep Arion Simmons on the floor. But you go back to that play and it looked like Hunter Jack Madden, I mean, not just looked like, he did fumble the ball because as soon as the ball came to him, he was already looking down the other side of the court. Got to catch it, then look the other way. Man, what a sequence.
Did they foul on purpose? So Kajust is stripped of the ball.
Fumble the ball right there by Madden. And then you go back, kick it out. But you got to foul right there to save time. And then they do right there, now with 4.1 left. Now Simmons is out of the game. It should have been Daniels if you want to foul to save time, but also keep Arion Simmons in the game.
But if you're in the double bonus, why would you foul in a tie game on purpose?
Well,
why wouldn't you try to get a stop and go to overtime?
And I think it's the way that Coach Tanner and his staff kind of views this game. I think they view it based off of the history of the matchup, going based on what possibilities they can get offensively. It's a very interesting call, I agree, but it's a call that I think that they're very familiar with and confident with to go back off on the offense.
Here's another question. This could very well be a shot clock violation on SFA. 5 seconds, the ball never touched the rim. They never, I don't think it ever changed hands in possession there. They turned the shot clock off. I don't think they should have. I think it still should have kept running there. SFA should have had the possession, and then the shot clock, in my eyes, would have run out. I'm curious if that's what they're looking at as well. And then that negates the Simmons foul, because that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened.
I don't know, and I don't know if that's what they're reviewing here, but that's interesting because that ball never touched the rim. And if ACU got control of it, if Hunter Jack Madden has control of the ball, then it switches to ACU and they can get the ball back. But I don't know that Hunter Jack Madden ever had that ball.
And if you look at ACU's bench, Coach Tanner's not talking to his players, he's talking to the refs for that exact same reason. Interesting thing to point out, because no matter what happens, it's going to negate that Simmons foul. And again, he wouldn't have picked up his fifth.
Let's take a look one more time. So here's Kajust. Look at this, 5 on the timer, 5 on the shot clock. It's a loose ball.
Right there.
I don't think the shot clock should have turned off.
Yeah, because right there, because you go back and it was 5, he pulls up at 4 seconds, but now the question is, does Hunter have possession? It looked like he fumbled the ball.
Right.
It looked like on an angle that he did.
So to explain that, if Hunter Jack Madden for ACU controls it, it turns the shot clock off and it switches possession.
But then it went back to SFA, so that would have been a new SFA possession.
Correct.
But the question is, did he have possession of the ball? I think Hunter Jack Madden did, because it looked like he caught it with his left arm, but he was already looking on the other side of the court, therefore a turnover. But we have a crew chief member walking up to us here. Let's see what he says.
Trying to figure out, because of the clock, all of a sudden it goes blank.
Yeah.
So we've got to figure out now whether that's a shot clock violation or not, just like we did at the other end.
Yep.
We've got the same thing, we've got timing.
Yeah.
I don't want to say here, because I want you to put that on the thing. And they're doing the best of that too. Now we've got to figure out
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to figure out. Because the shot clock turned off, they are trying to determine, was that a shot clock violation? They have to do the math kind of in their head and count the seconds down to see when would that clock have hit 0? Does the possession count? Does that foul get registered? There's a ton to sort out. Oh, by the way, how much time's left in the game too? They got a lot to figure out.
Well, look, 6, 5, 4, 3 on that shot,
2,
and right there would have been
1. The clock ran out.
Yeah.
That's a shot clock violation.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is. Unless they say that Hunter Jack Madden had possession, which it just didn't appear like he did.
Yeah, and it was really close too, because initially, not looking at these replay angles, it looked like he grabbed the ball, tried to make a pass, but again, the technology that we have here, just zooming in and making the right calls.
And so that also would negate the 5th foul of the game for Simmons, by the way. he would not foul out of the game. Timeout Abilene Christian. Brett Tanner calls it. They are put 13.1 back on. So I think that's a shot clock violation.
After review, it's a shot clock violation.
That's exactly what the call is. So I think we did a good job. I think we had that from the get-go. But there's 13 seconds left. It is officially a shot clock violation on SFA. No shot clock now. Abilene Christian can hold to try to win the game.
Man, just let me know when Referee Appreciation Week is, and I'll go get him a gift basket
Did a great
or something.
job.
There's a tough job to do, especially in a physical environment, physical game against ACU and SFA. I mean, hats off to the referee crew here in the Western Athletic Conference game.
What do you do if you're ACU? Who do you get the ball to in this situation?
Well, I look at one, Arion Simmons, because of the passing threat that he is in the high post, and that's worked all game long. I know Damian Daniels has been quiet a little bit in the end of the second half, but really I look at 25. I really do look at Emmanuel Allen, and again, whether it's an open look, you can kind of slow it down, then send it over to overtime. That's kind of a little tongue twister right there. But you also want to look at the post that you have. Maybe you have an Ali Diba going for a nice little baseline cut. You want to slow the game down. You want to make sure this is your last possession here if you're ACU.
SFA will try to force overtime. Abilene Christian will try to win it. 13 seconds for the Wildcats after the shot clock violation on the Lumberjacks. Diba, the high scorer for ACU tonight was 17. Daniels will have it, a chance to win it for Abilene Christian. Timeout.
Timeout, ACU.
ACU had 2 to work with, so they can still call another one if they have to with 8.4. Kind of their version of what happens in the women's game. They wanted to get it into the front court, call the timeout, and now they can draw something up with 8.5 seconds.
I think it's interesting that they had Hunter Jack Madden in there instead of Emmanuel Allen. Now both players shoot a high clip in the free throw line, so they get fouled. That won't be a problem. But is it maybe a shot, a shot selection type of question that you have? Maybe you want Hunter Jack Madden involved inside. I mean, Emmanuel Allen has really made money. I mean, 2 for 7 from the 3, but again, he's a streaky shooter, and you need a shot here perimeter-wise, because if you're SFA, you're packing the paint. And you see Ted Cross there telling Joe Pleasant it's going to look like an off-ball screen on this sideline out of bounds play, staying with that same lineup that they had before this timeout.
8.5 seconds. Abilene Christian will try to win it. Daniels with 5 seconds. The screen is set. Daniels for the win. No, we aren't done. Overtime is coming up.
Your score, ACU 75, SFA
And again,
75.
it's a tough screen right there by Pleasant. That's the screen Cross was talking about. Just a 4-shot selection, but you're going to overtime to make up for it.
Wow, put 5 minutes on the clock. We aren't done. Why wouldn't this game go to overtime? This game's been spectacular.
It's a match made in heaven. Damian Daniels facing the pressure here. You want to get into a little pick and roll opportunity. Daniels doesn't see anyone. Great job by ACU for holding the last shot, not turning the ball over, or a quick shot opportunity. And now it's 0-0 going to overtime. Now, obviously not literally, but you have that mentality as a competitor in saying all of that stuff in the half goes away. Arion Simmons, you're in foul trouble, so stay alert to that. But Emmanuel Allen, do you put him back in for shot opportunities? We'll see what they come up with.
So this is the second overtime game this year for Stephen F. Austin. They defeated Louisiana Tech on the road by 1 in OT in December. First overtime game of the year for Abilene Christian. These two teams back and forth. Abilene Christian outscoring SFA by 11 in the second half. And they did it without a field goal in the last 3.5 minutes. And then they finally got a basket to go. And then the free throws, and we're tied up at 75. Who's not having fun here tonight? This game's been great.
I mean, everyone, again, from the crowd, from us, to the people in the studio, to the referees, man. I mean, hey, you get a full master class on how referee late game situations like that. I mean, just an all across the board great atmosphere here at Moody Coliseum. Now we're in overtime. I mean, this is great.
Put 5 minutes on the clock. Texas rivals going at it. Let's go. Away we go in overtime. SFA will control it. Cajuste had the big three-point play to take the lead. Tries to, well, that hit the back of the backboard. Turnover. Turnover number 19 tonight for the Lumberjacks.
If you're AJ Cajuste, you just say to yourself, I might be doing a little too much. If my shots aren't there, if I don't have a one-on-one driving lane, I should just kick it out, let the offense flow.
All right, they are saying that that was tipped. His pass back into the court of play was tipped by ACU, then it hit the back of the backboard. So they're saying the ball sticks with the Lumberjacks. Went off of Pleasant's fingertip. 10 on the timer. Hall back to work, spinning. Did he get it off? Well, it didn't matter. He missed it. It's a shot clock violation. Well, everything's been late shot clock here late this game.
The shot clock is just having a great time this game, and Dede Hall, I think that's going to be a key for the Lumberjacks offense, getting the ball to him in the middle of the defense, which is a weak point for ACU. And now, offensively for ACU, can you get Joe Pleasant and your other guys involved?
Diva leads ACU with 17. Simmons with 4 fouls. Here is Diva. He got it. First points of OT go to Ali Diva.
Just the recognition and the awareness for going up strong, not necessarily drawing contact, but getting that easy bucket.
Matching his season best with 19. Ware short. Look at Hall crashing the glass and tying the game.
And it started with a good look on the mid-range, and Dede Hall, again, he comes up big in times like this.
Look at the lob. Simmons to Madden. The touchdown for the 2.
Straight out of Madden, what looked like a video game play.
Ware on a drive, he'll finish. Roddy Ware, not a huge offensive night. He's got 7 points. Big time delivery for the 5th year.
And both of these teams can answer each other so well. It just makes it so much fun.
Backdoor, it's Daniels hacked. Free throws coming for Daniels. Let's go back to that pass from Simmons to Madden for ACU.
Well, it's like a play straight out of Madden. You got your quarterback there, and Arion Simmons, just a beautiful pass, getting it into the window, into the hands, leading Hunter Jack Madden to that opportunity, and you got to have good athleticism to do that, and Madden did just so.
Damian Daniels.
And re-entering for the Wildcats.
He's into double figures now for the 6th straight game. He's got 11. Lead back to 2 for Abilene Christian. Antwi Bosiaco has been in foul trouble tonight. Just 3 points in 22 minutes. On a drive and a finish is Cajuste again. Timeout SFA. 2.5 left. Oh, baby. AJ Cajuste, 23 points tonight.
Madden closing out there hard, but sealing Joe Pleasant, and I think that's something Coach Tanner was talking in the reps about, sealing Joe Pleasant, a Lumberjack, to not help out and provide some helper type of defense. And now you go back on offense, and you put in Tobias Cameron providing perimeter shooting compared to Ali Diba, who's more inside scoring.
Yeah, Diba leaves. He's on the bench. He is tied a season high with 19, which he's done 3 times, including in Nacogdoches. So he scored 38 points this year against the Lumberjacks.
And the lineup change has nothing to do with Ali Dipa's game. He's had a terrific game, terrific conference season. It's just the way the defense is playing ACU. They need a consistent perimeter shooter out there. And who other than Tobias Cameron?
Meanwhile, Kajust had just 10 points in December against Abilene Christian. 23 tonight. Charge! Cameron on the move. He's gone for the offensive foul.
The pros and cons of being a player, playing on a full head of steam, literally hitting a Lumberjack full head of steam, and these little things. I mean, we've said it all broadcast long, Zach. These two defensive teams, this is what they pride themselves on, but who's going to win in the half court? That's the $1 million question.
Jossel, great job taking that charge. Was set and waded through the possession. Chance for the lead for SFA. Here's Ware. Big layup earlier, 10 to shoot it. Roddy Ware. Got around, kicks it out, it's picked off by Daniels. 2 minutes left.
And that defensive adjustment right there, Damian Daniels helping, was so crucial.
He feeds Pleasant, no, it didn't go in. And wait, we have a whistle. Is it a foul? It's a foul on Nana Antwi Bosiako.
Oh, clearly, right there. Nana fouled him.
So no goaltend. It's a foul, and it's 2 free throws. Shooting foul free throws for Joe Pleasant. And Nana Antwi Bosiako, I believe, is fouled out of the game. So he will leave the game. 3 points, 23 minutes. Tough night with foul trouble for Antwi Bosiako. And so it is Derek Tesino to check in with 1:47. And Abilene Christian a chance to go back up in front. Both teams have been good at the foul line tonight. Abilene Christian now 21 of 26. SFA 17 for 22. Could hear a pin drop as the lead goes to 2 for ACU.
For the Wildcats, Lee Diva.
Diva returns on the defensive side. SFA down 2 with the ball.
You need length if you're ACU, and that's what you put Diva back in for, guarding the paint, protecting the paint.
Kajust has to be the trigger man here. On the move, Tesino. 13 to shoot it. Time for Hall. He'll tie it. Day Hall with 18 points.
Stepping up to the plate. You know, Kajus is facing those double team looks that showing on the ball screen coverage, and Day Hall, great job stepping up.
One of the games of the year in the WAC. Cameron with 12 to shoot it. Hunter Jack Madden. Four seconds. Pleasant, he'll take it. No good. Out of bounds, it stays with Abilene Christian. With 53 seconds.
And the vision and the chemistry right there from Pleasant to Arion, they're trying to figure it out. Does Arion cut there? Does he space out for that face-up jumper for Pleasant? That's something that they have to figure out here and be aggressive. You don't want to take a shot now so late in the shot clock, as we saw that at the end of the second half.
I'd be shocked if they weren't going to look at that, and that's exactly what they'll do. That's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You got to look at that to see who touched it last. Cameron was in there for Abilene Christian. And the tap from behind Ware. Who is that, off Cameron? I think that's off Cameron.
Clear as day.
I think you had Ware's hand behind, but I don't.
But Tobias got the whole palm
I think he
in there
got the
and
palm.
swatted
yeah.
it.
Even if the contact came from behind on Ware's hand,
It's the
that's
one.
clearly off of Cameron, it looked like.
Yep.
They have to have enough to overturn it. They said ACU ball. That looked like enough. Take a look again. Different angle. Let's see. Close. Cameron right there. Does it get? Yeah, I maybe Kajust got in there, but it didn't look like
that
it.
angle, it looks like he did. But on that first angle we saw, it looked like it was
think-
all palm.
Yeah, I don't think
Tobias Cameron.
Kajust got his hand in there. I don't know if he was close enough. Here's the first angle. This might be a better look. Yeah, see Cameron.
Yeah,
that's off of camera. Yeah, that's off of camera. Kajust, see from the other angle, Kajust's hand wasn't even close.
Kind of backing out.
Who are they calling this? Whoa, they're staying with Abilene Christian. I am surprised by that.
Maybe it was that second angle that we saw. Maybe they're thinking maybe a fingertip.
Wow, or not enough to change it.
Yeah.
Okay, they are gonna say ACU possession. .12 to shoot it. Simmons has it. Steps back, gets one away. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
The second time that's happened for Arion Simmons here tonight.
How did that not go in? I got to take a physics class after this. Maybe just a little bit more than a 2-second difference between game and shot clock. SFA a chance for the lead.
A similar play that they ran near the end of the second half.
Kajust spins, no! 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Daniels, no! We're going to double overtime. Remarkable game in Abilene. Oh my goodness.
That's an isolation here. The same exact play that the Lumberjacks ran in near the second half, but what's different is Arion Simmons with that help side defense. They're calling for a timeout. They don't get it. Damian Daniels maybe arguing his off the shoot motion, but already late.
And one thing that did happen there, the clock stopped for about a second. They thought a timeout was going to be called, didn't get a timeout, and so they really had maybe an extra second there at ACU than they probably should have had. So that shot probably wouldn't have even gotten off there at the end, but how about this? Staying up late on a Wednesday night because we got double OT coming your way. I mean, that was incredible. Each side scored 8 points there in the first OT. '83 up between two longtime rivals on a Wednesday night. Here's the stop one more time.
Help side defense right there from Arion Simmons.
See how they stopped the clock there for a second?
They saw
then they ran it. So that shot probably wouldn't even have gotten off. But they did try to call a timeout there. They didn't get it granted. Pleasant tried to call one with 2.5. Set it back up. 5 more minutes.
Now I wonder, Damian took the half-court shot, but what about the fan that shot the half-court shot for, $10,000 or whatever?
Right.
He would have made it, but they don't get it grounded there. Damian takes the shovel pass, spins out of that.
I will say without our camera angle right there, that's probably hard to see him call that right there by his body. But oh my, this game has had everything.
We just gotta be ready for SportsCenter.
Wednesday Night Madness. Let's re-jump it. SFA will have it. Hawkins grabs it. 5 more minutes. Kajust again. Each side has just used all shot clock, draining every second out of this. Hall back to work. He's had a big night. Hawkins, 3 to go. He'll go off the glass. No. loose. Simmons goes and gets it, and he's granted the timeout.
Timeout, ACU.
Timeout, Abilene Christian. Kyle Keller wants a travel, didn't get it. For Simmons with this rebound. They were granting the timeout before he rolled up and over, and so they will grant ACU the ball. Why not have a controversial something to take a look at in the first 35 seconds of the second OT? Timeout on the floor. We're in the second overtime. What a finish. What a night in Abilene. Stay with us. All right, all knotted up at 83 apiece. Just underway in the second overtime. Abilene Christian got the defensive stop. Simmons was granted the timeout. Jalen Franklin looking on. He was playing the last time there was a double overtime game played at Moody Coliseum in February of 2019 between Sam Houston and Abilene Christian. ACU's Peyton Ricks hit a 3 at the gun to send it to sudden death.
You know, just hearing that in the context of now this game in double overtime just makes me feel so young.
83 up. Two of the great rivals in mid-major hoops. It's what it's developed into over the last half decade or so. Both have gone to multiple NCAA tournaments. Simmons on the move, short. Hawkins with the board. Both teams empty on their first touches of double OT. Kajus, he's got 23 points tonight. Jossel gonna drive, he's gonna get it. Latrell Jossel, the sophomore out of Chicago. SFA in front. Hunter Jack Madden to the baseline, no. Deba, he's fouled on the putback.
Key free throws right here, Zach.
Foul called on the Lumberjacks, number 10, Latrell Jossel. That's his 5th of the game.
Well, on the cut, Hunter Jack Madden gets a good look at the rim, doesn't go. Ollie Deba right there, slap by Jossel. Easy call right there by the referees.
And Jossel is fouled out of the game, 8 points, 31 minutes. So that's a couple of big-time players for SFA.
Takes away shooting threats for Coach Keller to draw plays. Now you got to really rely on those inside looks, post-entry passes. You know, maybe the mid-range.
2 starters have fouled out for the Lumberjacks. Ali Deba, a new season high. He's got 20. First-year Wildcat came over from Chicago State. Tobias Cameron comes in for defensive purposes. Well, it's pretty impressive that Daniels, Cameron, and Pleasant, or rather Simmons, have yet to foul out, with all of them having 4 fouls. Deva's got 21. He ties it back up with 3.5 to go in the second OT. Hope you've enjoyed this one tonight as much as we have. Potentially the game of the year in the WAC. 10 for Kajust. Oh, nice step. The finish, no! Tesano couldn't convert it.
Foul called on SFA.
And then the foul on the Lumberjacks. And it's on Tesano.
A great move right there by AJ, SFA, and then, you know, again, quality looks for the Lumberjacks. They just can't fall. They just cannot fall. I guess you could say the same thing for ACU sometimes too.
Was that a rushed shot? I mean, it looked like it was right there for Tesano, just couldn't get it to fall.
I mean, great pass by AJ Kajust and, you know, drawing that 2 defenders up in the air. But it seems like, yes, not only rushed, but you're kind of not focusing on the angle of the basket. You know, you're going to catch the ball first, and then you're going to lay the ball up.
Abilene Christian is 8 for 8 now at the foul line in the 2 overtime periods combined. SFA has not taken a foul shot in the 2 overtimes combined. That's been a huge difference. Down 2 for the Jacks. Kajust. Ware, the veteran. Day Hall. We got a foul. It's a blocking foul. Tobias Cameron is fouled out of the game. Off the ball here. Watch 11 in white come into your screen with Hawkins.
That left arm. There's that left arm. You know, if he would have stayed up, probably wouldn't have been called. But that left arm kind of in the lower back of Hawkins.
So Tobias Cameron is fouled out. His night ends 5 points in 30 minutes. One more time. I mean,
yep, that left arm.
It's a foul. It's a foul on Cameron. Yeah, that's absolutely what it was. And Nigel Hawkins was in there, so Hawkins will head to the line. So this will be 2 bonus free throws for Hawkins' first free throw attempts of either overtime period for SFA.
And that says a lot for ACU, known as a foul team, and be able to clean it up and stay disciplined, lock in during these 2 overtime periods is why where they are now, scratching and clawing their way to a potential victory.
Hawkins 11 points tonight. No.
Wow.
Just the 6th miss at the line for the game for SFA. Oh, he missed both of them. Wow. Abilene Christian with a lead and the ball, 2.5. Simmons had to get rid of it. Deba on the move, no. Now Kajust, oh, he kept the pivot foot. The layup, no good again. Again, it's Tezeno, could not convert close.
And it's still 5-on-4 right here. They're slowing it down.
2 minutes left. Feels like the smart decision to slow it down and run the play. Hunter Jack Madden. 4 seconds. Blocked. Got it back. 1 second. Daniels got it off. No good. Out of bounds to SFA. What a stop for the Lumberjacks.
Well, Hunter Jack Madden pulling up. All ball right there. And Damian Daniels, nice little up fake, but had to rush that 3. I bet if he would have had more time, I mean, Damian Daniels had a good night from 3, good season from distance as well. Could have been a different result, but again, the shot clock was in factor there.
Tezeno leaves, Bobrin comes in for SFA. Lumberjacks, a chance to tie or go in front. 1.5 minutes in the second overtime. Kajust, rise and fire, tie game! AJ Kajust is incredible. 25 points, timeout SFA.
Well, he changed up his tendencies. The defense knows that on that previous possession, he's probably going to drive. Now he says, look, I'm going to size up my defender, and I'm going to use my perimeter-oriented shot, and that's going up for a top of the key pull-up jumper, and he sank it. Great job right there by AJ Kajust to recognize how the defense is going to guard him and counter that coverage.
And Wildcats fans, we have an update from Arlington. The Wildcats walk off on the
Wave to the camera. This thing has been amazing. 73 seconds. 87-87. Kajust, this tied it up.
I mean, sizing up Joe Pleasant. You notice that he had his left foot out. You're attacking the top foot. That's an easy crossover, or they call it a killer crossover. You start with the crossover in between the legs, rise and fire in the pull-up jumper. I mean, just a masterclass effort on how AJ Kajus scored right there, just taking advantage of his perimeter defender.
A minute 13. Abilene Christian will have it. Let's switch sides. ACU offensively in a tie game. They have options. I mean, Diba's been the focal point tonight. He's really done his thing with 21 points.
I really like the pick and pop action for ECU, especially when it's ran with Arion Simmons and Damian Daniels. Obviously, they played together for a long period of time to kind of, cement that action. I think if they run that, kind of maybe get Diba and Joe Pleasant involved down low for maybe a little cross screen, high-low action, get the two bigs involved. But again, just playing and slowing down with pace.
As we approach a minute left in the second overtime. Diba, no, off the glass, the rebound to Hall. He's got a double-double, 18 and 10. SFA 45 seconds, a chance to take the lead. SFA's last lead was with 3.5 to go in the second half in regulation. They have not led in either overtime. 5, Kajus, got it! Oh my! For the lead!
Just well executed right there, isolation off of the ball screen.
No shot clock, timeout Abilene Christian. They've got it down to 21.5 seconds. Abilene Christian down by 2 will have a chance to tie or win when we come back. SFA by 2. AJ Kajus. Back-to-back step-back jumpers to tie it, now to take the lead. And SFA's in front by a pair.
Well, big-time players show up big-time moments, and he's had a big-time season, a big-time game. Therefore, he is a big-time player. And again, I just really like the poise, the patience, how he attacks his defender.
It has tied a career high with 27 for Kajus. Backdoor, Diba off the glass, no! With 16 seconds, the foul is committed. They go to Diba on back-to-back possessions. Off the glass for both of them, no good. Similar outcomes both times.
We see there Arion Simmons, great pass right there to Diba. That's a second decent look at the rim, but a high-angled shot on the backboard, and the probability of that going in, Zach, is just really, really low. Now you're in that foul game with 14.8 seconds left.
So now Kajus a chance to go up 2 possessions. Good on the first.
80% from the line on the season.
This is SFA's first lead since there were 3.5 minutes left in regulation in the second half. And the lead is 4 for the Lumberjacks. 15 seconds, ACU has to go quickly. 8 seconds, they gotta get a look. It's Madden, no good on the 3. One more look, Simmons, that's no good. Daniels, no. Stephen F. Austin wins an instant classic. 91-89, the final in double overtime. What a win for SFA on the road at Abilene Christian. We gotta get out of here. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching this presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. So long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas. SFA wins a thriller.